Good morning. Here's my vlog for Monday, May 11th, 2020. I'm making this quite early in the morning here, my time. I've got a very busy day ahead of me, um, but it's great. It's great. Um, Ketogenic diet. So, for me, with keto, I'm being I want to be clean with it, right? When I say clean, I want to steer clear of processed foods. I want to steer clear of stuff that we know might not be good, right? Um, and so when I'm first getting back into it, it your body gets a little sick, right? You stop. So your body's used to using carbs as a primary fuel source, right? Which is actually a form of sugar, right? That's what it turns into in your blood. Not the same as refined sugar, but that's where refined sugar turns to. Anyway, um, you have mechanisms in your body to that are used to that process, right? From my understanding, and again, I'd have to look into this again. It's been a long time since I read up on it. That you have cells whose job it is to process your nutrients or whatever, right? And so you have more of these cells that are used to processing um, blood sugar, right? And then so as you're ramping back up, right, these cells are asking for that stuff, and your body starts to, again, and I look, just study the shit on your own. I don't have the answers on this yet. I need to go back and read it. It's been a year and a half ago. When I first got on this, I was just bringing the information in as fast as I could, but it's been a while. Um, but here's what I do know: it takes time where your body has to ramp up and say, okay, these other cells are what I use for burning through fat, and it starts to ramp that up. Um, the reason, here's the primary reason I prefer the keto diet for me is cravings. My cravings are intense. Now, just like I'll never know what the color blue looks like to you. I'm going to assume that blue looks the same to you. We never know what it's like to live inside another person's skin, right? And I'll never know if my cravings are on the same level as yours, and the mental part's just not strong enough as it relates to that, or if my interaction with that craving is like compared to what yours is, and it takes so much more to reel it in, and there's no way to ever know what that is, right? um so insulin is the hormone that's responsible for storing sugar into fat, again, to my best understanding, kind of super layman. This hormone also makes you hungry. There's also, Peter Attia talks a lot about insulin resistance, and that insulin might not work as well, or whatever with certain people, right? Um, so this is why I think keto's right for me. But so when I'm first transitioning over, I didn't feel very good for the first couple days, and because I have the panic attacks, um, what should be, oh, I feel a little bit nauseous right now. Maybe I'll lie down for a minute. Turns into, oh shit, I'm dying of a heart attack. This is it. Let's fight. Right? Like, I don't. That's starting to calm back down, fortunately. Right? So here's what has helped for me. Um, Nutritional yeast flakes. I don't know what the mechanism is behind them. I don't know what vitamins are in there. I just know it was recommended, and so I added in. I was feeling pretty shitty day before yesterday. I added in nutritional yeast flakes. I just ate like a tablespoon. If you just eat it, it almost tastes like Doritos. It's actually really good. It looks gross, like you're like nutritional yeast, yuck. But people put it on popcorn and stuff. It actually tastes good. It kind of fills that sort of need I have when I'm looking for that that flavor that you get from processed foods. It kind of gives me that. So, and then lemon and apple cider vinegar. From my understanding, it has something to do with helping control sugar or helping control blood glucose. I don't know. So that helped. And then also on the keto diet, you got to really stay on top of your minerals, your electrolytes. So I've got this stuff called K1000 I use. Initially, Dr. Berg had his own thing. There's like 5 different ones. Basically, it's a combination of salt, magnesium, potassium, and there's a 4th one, and I can't remember it right now. Magnesium, potassium. Yeah, those are the big ones. Stay on top of that. So, because if you don't stay on top of your electrolytes, you can get dehydrated. Even if, so this happened to me before because I spent, this is what launched the whole panic attack thing for me, I think, is I was drinking distilled water and I was just pounding it, right? This was years ago. This was like 2017, okay? And I was just pounding distilled water. Well, from what I've come to understand, distilled water doesn't have these electrolytes you need in them. Your body's always looking for homeostasis, so it's always looking for things to be balanced. So what does it do is it just starts dumping the liquid. So when I was drinking distilled water, I was drinking a gallon a day, a gallon and a half easy, and just peeing. I was up 3 times a night to pee. Now I liked the taste of the water, and I liked like, because I'm thirsty all the time, I'm like, yay, I'm getting my water. Well, come to find out, I was just sucking the electrolytes out of my body like crazy, right? And it made me sick as shit. That was the first time I was at work, and I'm just like, oh, I felt my heart. I was like, oh, God, I'm going to have a heart attack. I got dizzy and shit. And when I went in, they didn't diagnose it that time. That particular doctor wasn't even looking for that. So that's when they started saying, well, it's possibly panic attacks and this and that. It wasn't until later this happened. I go in, think I'm having a panic attack, and the doctor plugs me into an IV, and he says, no, you're dehydrated. There's this thing called mineral hydration, where even though you've got plenty of fluid in your body, you have dumped your electrolytes because your body's just dumping that out. And apparently, fighters, right? People cutting weight will actually drink distilled water on purpose to make their body flush shit out right before their weigh-ins. So, okay, so again, keto, stay on top of your minerals, and also healthy fats, specifically MCT oil. From my understanding, the MCT oil, your body can process it more efficiently, turn it into ketones easier and faster. And that was a missing ingredient. When I've got high ketones in my blood, because I'm poking myself every day, the mind, for me, will get super, super sharp, and I'll have consistent, solid energy all day. That's another thing I like about it a lot. I'm finally feeling that start to ramp up. Now, last night, someone talked me into having a shot or 2 of vodka with them. So I dipped back out of ketosis, because even though alcohol's not carbs, you still have to burn through alcohol, right? Alcohol still has Here's the thing about alcohol. It still has calories. Those calories have to come from somewhere, right? Protein is 4 calories per 4 calories per gram. Carbohydrates are 4 calories per gram. Fat is 9 calories per gram, right? So if vodka is, my hand's shaking. If vodka is 68 calories per shot, but it doesn't have any carbs and it doesn't have any protein, that's coming from somewhere. I heard this referred to as the 4th macro, being alcohol. And so this is also one of the things about that I get really pissed off when I see like these keto snacks. They'll say keto. You gotta look at them close because they'll have sugar alcohols. Now, I don't know exactly how those mechanisms work, but my 2 shots of vodka, and I was tight on my carbs yesterday. Took me from, so the day before I ate quite a bit more. So I went from a 1.1 in ketones that morning of the day before to yesterday, 0.6 in ketones, which is so they say you're in ketosis when you're at 0.5 ketones, and that's it's measured in something called millimolars. Okay, I think. So then I dropped back down to 0.4, right? So good self-experimentation, I suppose. Good thing to know. That's where we're at. I weighed in today, 415. Here's the other thing, though. Okay, so if you are going to do ketogenic diet, one thing to be aware of is, I don't know where the microphone is on this. I don't know how to hold it. And if I hold it straight out with one hand, my hand gets shaky. There we go. Damn it, I lost my train of thought. I think it might be gone. Shit. I know I'm going to upload this and rewatch it back and know what it was. You know what? That's what I'm going to do. Let me do that, and then I'll just splice it together. So apparently I'm diving into doing some editing today. I remember, okay, so if you are going, when you get going on the ketogenic diet, your first few pounds are going to happen really fast because you have the carbohydrates, right? They're like in your body, right? And they hold water. The carbohydrates themselves, the molecules or whatever, they hold water. So as you start to burn through those stores of carbohydrates, your weight starts to go down real fast in the beginning. So that's just part of it. And then when you stop, if you decide, hey, I'm going to go eat a bunch of pasta for a day or whatever, that weight's going to come back up really dramatically and really quickly, and it's because the carbohydrates that are in you hold on to the water. So I'm not doing backflips over my weight loss numbers just yet because I can't quantify them in my head. What's just the transition? And this is always a problem for me. I always have problems quantifying. Like, I always don't believe the scale. That's a problem. I don't know where that comes from, but I'll have to see that number several days in a row before I'm like, okay, this is my new weight, right? So, all right, there we are. The end for May 11th vlog. Damn it, why is it? Thanks again, everyone that's following. Massive gratitude. And whatever you're doing, man, if you know, you can do hard things, and it's shitty now, but you know, what are you doing for your future self? Your future self will thank you.